sometimes when you talk about someone else that is of that same nationality, people protect that person because they're of the same nationality. And to a point, it's normal. So when you meet people who are protective of you, no matter if you are a foreigner or a local, it's commendable. And I think that is definitely a strength, especially when it pertains to tourism, because people will always remember how you make them feel. Like, yeah, having all the hot parties and having the food that we like and stuff like that is good. But if you're someone who is looking for somewhere where, people are not one sided and they will actually protect you as a foreigner as well, like, that's amazing. And that is a huge strength that I noticed. Hey, you guys, welcome back to my channel. Today, we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to focus on the strengths of Nairobi, Accra, and Kampala. What are these cities' superpowers? Like, what are they strong at overall? Like, I really want people to identify between the three cities and decide which place is like best for them to live, which place offers the type of things that they need, and also what these cities can learn from one another. I want people to see, oh wow, maybe I could implement that here in my city, and so on and so forth. So let's get into the video. All right, so we're going to start with Nairobi. Nairobi's transportation, their traffic control. I guess that has something to do with infrastructure, but they have like so many developed highways. They have so much more traffic control than some of the cities that I visited. Besides like Rwanda. Rwanda's traffic control was pretty good too, but we're not talking about them today. So Nairobi had a lot of traffic, but their traffic was more under control. Like the the police, the officers, like they're very strict on transportation. So if people stop in the middle of the highway, like they'll be arrested and things like this. So it was really good to see that they had some type of order in that system. And also with Bolt and Uber, what I liked about the transportation service there is with Bolt and Uber, if they cancel the ride, which they have in other cities, especially in Ghana, but if the driver sees that you're a far distance away, he accepts the ride, you have to go there. You cannot cancel or they will charge that driver a fee. So this is good for people who are always in a rush. Most of the time I'm in a rush, but sometimes it's just like, I just want to be relaxed. So yeah, but in Nairobi, like their system moves faster because you don't have a lot of people canceling on you, calling you, asking you where you are when they see you on the map, like just little things like this. They offer there. And also like another thing about being rushed is when they stop each boat ride and you have to exit the ride, they will be fined if they um, stop for too long. So they'll rush you out and be like, please hurry, hurry, hurry. And it's nothing against you. It's just they will be charged a fee if they stop too long. Like the police will stop them. So everything is so in control when it pertains to traffic and the transportation services. So I think that's top notch, especially for people who are in business and you always have somewhere to go and you don't have a lot of time to waste. I feel like I've wasted a lot more time in the other cities that I've traveled to in Africa when it pertains to traffic and transportation. So that's top of the notch in Nairobi. The next thing that I loved about Nairobi is overall, like people are very professional, very professional. So, um, Nobody was sleeping on a job. Nobody was playing around at their job. Like everybody was working, and in a lot of different cities, I've seen people sleeping on the job, playing on the job, but that's okay if that's what you choose to do. But being from the West, where I'm from, like it's weird for me to see because we would get fired in America if we sleep on the job. So to see somewhere similar to the American system as far as like work pace and professionalism, like them actually greeting you. They may not smile because they're not like a smiley group of people in Nairobi, but they are pleasant and they are welcoming. So when you come into their establishment, they will greet you for the most part. So it's very professional, very, very professional there. So that's one thing that I love, and it's definitely a strength. Right. Mobile money. Mobile money. Like their mobile money system is next level. I think it's even better than the American money system because I don't like dealing with cash sometimes. And yes, you can use your debit card in America, of course, your credit card, things like this, but they have it so simple where you can just put everything into your mobile money account. And every vendor that you go to, every supermarket, every fruit vendor or street shop, like any moms and pop shops, any fruit stands on the side, anyone, everyone had a till number, which is a 6-digit number. So anyone who was selling items, they had a till number. Oh, so my dog is getting attacked. I think dogs are fighting. But yeah, everyone had a till number. So it's literally a 6-digit number. You type it in and you go. So you don't even have to stop and ask, what's your MTN number? What's this? What's that? In a lot of other African countries that I've been to, you had to do that. So this is a strength in Nairobi. And I think, a lot of people should implement this in their country, in their cities, because wow, like it was seamless. I never had to go to the ATM, you know? So yeah. Accommodation to kids. Like they had so many accommodations for kids, so many so many places for kids to have fun. So my daughter really enjoyed that because they had, when you go in the mall and you go towards the back of the mall, they had trampolines, slides, ball pits, arcade games, and this, I think it was called TRN Mall or something, but it's in Nairobi. And yeah, they just had like guys renting the mini cars and the mini trucks, like Range Rovers, mini Range Rovers for babies, of course. And they would charge you like $2 for 5 minutes to just roll around this section in the mall. And I thought that was such a brilliant like business idea that I have not seen the other countries that I've been to really try that. So that's a plus because I have a daughter, as you know, and she loves to have fun. So when we went to rent the mini car, like she didn't even want to get out. I wasn't sure she wanted to get in, but she did not want to leave that place. So this is a plus for people who have kids. Another thing is their tech skills. Their tech skills are amazing. Like the reason I went there was because I was done with Tanzania, my experience in Tanzania, and I also had broken my camera and my phone. So I had to get things repaired there. And they have services like iFixit. They have private companies that repair cameras. Like they have everything. Like it's like a mini New York. So any tech item you're looking for that you may not find in any other countries, like they have it. So it is a tech environment there in Nairobi, and they fixed my phone in a matter of a couple hours. That is really unheard of in a lot of African cities or countries, but in Nairobi, they definitely had like promised me a couple hours to fix my phone and fix my camera, and my camera is fixed. My phone was fixed as well. So, these are the things that I loved during that time, because if you're a content creator and you break things, or you may need repairs at time to time, like this is a good place for you to go. Yeah, so that is a strength, a superpower of Nairobi. And the last thing was their SIM card process. Like overall, they had the easiest SIM card process. In Tanzania, I had to get a local to go with me to get the SIM card taken care of because I didn't understand the language. But I'm sure I could have done it myself. I'm not sure, but we're not talking about them today. But out of the 3 cities, Nairobi had the easiest SIM card process because all you have to do is bring your passport. You bring, just your passport, and that's it. And they give you your SIM card, they give you the codes, the passwords, everything, and you're set. So I was in and out within 20 minutes, which was awesome. But in Kampala and in Ghana, you have to have a national ID card. And if I'm not mistaken, this is the only place where you have to have a national ID card to get your SIM card. Otherwise, you just got to get it through a local, which is what I did. But if you don't like to depend on other people, like this won't be ideal for you with the whole SIM card thing. But in Nairobi, they definitely had a seamless process. And in Kampala, after 90 days, your SIM card expires because that's when they believe you're leaving the country. But if you get an extension, you got to go through the SIM card process again and show them your extension. So it's like second best there. But there's going to be other cities where the SIM card process is not that easy. So that was a plus. So let's move on to Kampala. In Kampala, number one thing that is like their superpower, one of their strengths is their hospitality and just like, yeah, their hospitality. They were just so welcoming. And I like that I traveled to other cities in Africa before I came to Ghana, because Ghana was the first country that I visited that I was like, okay, they're pretty warm for the most part. Most people were warm and they still are. But in Kampala, like I was overwhelmed with like hospitality. Like it just seems like it wasn't just me. They were nice to everyone who came into their country. Like they will forget about their people and try to welcome you, for a moment. Like this guy sacrificed so much time from his family, like helping me do getting an apartment, getting this, getting that. And I paid him a referral fee for that because that is definitely like a service. But he went above and beyond to like help me. And, overall, this is just how they are. And one thing that I loved is like not only the guys greeted me with smiles, but most of the women greeted me with a smile as well, which in other countries, I haven't had that same, you know, like welcoming vibe from the women as well. Yeah. So it's hospitality. And I forgot to mention customer service was A1. Like there were many establishments where I was like greeted with a smile, you know, when I would walk into the establishment, and it's like, wow, that's similar to what I received, the type of treatment I received in America. So it was good to see this, So Kampala, like customer service and hospitality is A1. And like they weren't just nice to me, they were nice to Europeans, nice to other Africans that would visit. Like they were just nice to everyone. So yeah, like the hospitality was top notch. Top notch. They're definitely like top three in as far as like hospitality in Africa. So the next one is they are very protective of foreigners. Like when I say like I never had people just go after me, like if they see something that's off and try to help me fix it so that I won't be a target of like a crime. But there's many times that I had my book bag like slightly unzipped and they will be like, oh, like I'm at the mall and I'm trying to leave on a boda on a motorcycle and I have a bunch of locals coming up to me like, hey, trying to get my attention. They're like, close your bag. Somebody will pickpocket you. Close your bag. Close your bag. So I was just like, oh, wow, you know. And I got this a lot. And I don't know if people still like that. I didn't witness, well, I did have someone try to break into my apartment. And I think it was a guy that gave me that broken bed that he like threw together, but he saw some of my valuables and his eyes lit up, you know, to him, like the stuff that I had at that time is worth, you know, a little something or whatever. So he tried to get into my place and the door was just like, the door was strong. So whatever they tried to do, it didn't work, but it left like, it left signs that somebody was trying to break in. So my landlord recognized it, and because I was getting locked into my home when I would use the key, she was like, this door didn't look like this when you moved in here. This was a new lock. So she was like showing me that somebody is trying to break in. So then she goes and she looks at her door and she realized somebody was trying to break into her place too. So it was crazy. And then she went on a whole investigation asking the locals, asking some of the guys that did security at the time. She was asking them like, do you have it? Do you have it? Did you try to break into her place? Well, they didn't take anything, but she was like, did you try to break in? Did you try? Do you need me to call the cops on you? So they hold each other accountable and yeah, they like are very protective of foreigners. What I realized with them is they don't like try to just protect the people that are Ugandan. They try to protect foreigners if a Ugandan is involved or not. But in other countries, it's been like, it's sometimes when you talk about someone else that is of that same nationality, people protect that person because they're of the same nationality. And to a point, it's normal. So when you meet people who are protective of you, no matter if you are a foreigner or a local, it's commendable. And I think that is definitely a strength, especially when it pertains to tourism, because people will always remember how you make them feel. Like, yeah, having all the hot parties and having the food that we like and stuff like that is good. But if you're someone who is looking for somewhere where, you know, people are not one sided and they will actually protect you as a foreigner as well, like that's amazing. And that is a huge strength that I noticed in Kampala. So the next one is classy and peaceful. Like these are the most classy and peaceful people that I have been around, you know, and they still know how to have fun. Now I went to Rwanda. We're not talking about Rwanda right now, but it seemed like they were very classy, very peaceful, but I didn't hear a lot of fun, you know, going on. But maybe I just wasn't there long enough to see. But in Uganda, they know how to have fun, but they're also very peaceful and very classy. Like they have their own type of, you know, way of dressing, you know, just very peaceful people. And what I've noticed is I didn't see any arguments between people like I've seen here in Ghana in different places that I've traveled. Like Ghana is considered a peaceful place, and for the most part, it is. It's not like crazy like New York where I traveled from. Of course not. Nowhere in Africa even compares to New York or any of the chaos you see in America, especially when it comes to like physical fighting and using weapons and stuff like that. No, they don't do that here in Ghana, but I have seen like arguments between guys on the street, like between the cab drivers. They'll get out of the car and like start arguing with one another. So like that's the most chaos that I've seen happen. But overall, like, not to compare the two, because every place has its strengths and its weaknesses, but in Kampala, they are the most peaceful people that I've ever been around that actually knows how to have fun as well. And I've only been to 5 countries, so I'm sure there's others. There are other places that are like this, but I like their style when it pertains to like peacefulness and classiness. Yeah. So the last thing that I liked in Kampala that I consider a strength is their safe boda system. Now I know they have one in Kenya as well. You know, I rode on a few in Kenya, but it was hard for them to really take off Kenya because it was so much traffic. So sometimes we'll be stuck in traffic. The ride will be kind of rocky unless we're going on the freeway. And I don't like to ride the motorcycle on the freeway, especially without a helmet. And I don't like using those dirty helmets that everybody's used. So in Kampala, the roads are more spacious. So it had like the boaters have room to just flow and go past all that traffic. So if you want to get somewhere quickly, it was amazing. And the way these guys drove were like professionals. They're all trained to drive professionally, especially with foreigners. Like they knew to drive slow with me, extremely slow, because sometimes my daughter will go with me on the back roads, and it's normal in Africa, but they would drive very slow because they don't want to hurt a foreigner and they don't want to hurt a child or a woman. So these guys are trained to drive safely and quickly to your destination. So I like that. And it was very affordable. And when you have places that have like dirt roads, when it gets wet, you don't want to have to walk through that to get to a taxi or get to your transportation. I don't. I want to just walk outside and get on top of the boda, and then we drive through all the mud. And it's faster for them to get through those potholes and those mud and the muddy roads because it's a motorcycle. So, yeah, that is something I miss sometimes here in Ghana because they don't have those. The guys just ride around on the motorcycles like they're Meek Mill or something, doing bike tricks, but that's their prerogative. So, every place is not going to have everything you like, but that is one thing that I liked in Kampala. So last is Accra. Accra. Let's talk about it. So the number one thing that I like in Accra is the independence of the people and the creativity when it pertains to entrepreneurship. So what I realize here is a lot of people have like little container shops. People walk around with buckets on their head filled with panties, eggs, bread, whatever it is that they can put together in their house to sell, they bring it out and sell it, and they make money that way. It may not be like, you know, a lot of money, but they are making their own money. And I like that independence. And a lot of people have that, but what I like about Ghana is they have like these container shops that kind of reminds me of some of the shops that my people create in Jamaica. Because in Jamaica, we have people who like open like clear out their garage and they have like bars in their garage. They have convenience stores, whatever they want to create, they create it in their garage, like on the side of their homes. So here in Ghana, they have container shops where you'll see people like they'll open a bar up, they'll open a clothing shop, they'll do a hair salon, they'll do, whatever. So I like that. I think it's very creative, and I haven't seen much of that in other places. I feel like everybody here is selling something. I like that they are creative. But the only thing that I think that will help the economy as far as that goes is like being creative when it pertains to marketing. If they could like implement the marketing side of things, which that's why I want to do like a marketing class, like how to get your business out there. Cause there's this hairstylist there and she doesn't know, like people look at hashtags. So you have to take pictures of your items and hashtags so people can reach you. You can't just stay here and expect, everyone to find you. Like you got to go to them, and people are on social media. So they do hustle hard, but I want to do something for the community where it's like a marketing class where I can help them like hustle smarter, because I'm really good with marketing. So when I see that that's lacking, you know, I just can only see the potential of where these businesses can go. But overall, like I love how creative they are. And if they keep that up, like the economy will definitely grow. And is an example to other countries and other cities. So the the next thing that I like in Ghana is how welcoming they are to the diaspora. Like I told y'all, we see Jamaican flags everywhere. There are some American flags, not as many Jamaican flags, not as many American flags as there are Jamaican flags, but they are there. And they just make products that we're used to in the West. They have events that are welcoming to us from the year of the return to now. So that's really good for like tourism because people want to feel welcome. We want to feel like you want us here, because for the longest they've tried to separate Africans from African Americans and form this wedge between us. So Africans don't believe that we want them in America, and then American, there's just like this divide. And so when we're actually welcome, it feels good. Um, whether it's genuine or not, I don't know, but it is definitely good for the economy to invite people to your home. And I think if they did this in East Africa, North Africa, South Africa, like the economy will grow because wherever Black Americans are, people want to be because we know how to have fun. We know how to have fun and we spend money. So this is a plus. Everybody knows about the year of the return and things like that. So ever since then, they've been very welcoming to us and just having like visas that are a visa system that is, favorable to us. So we won't have to go back and forth and move every 3 months. Like, I think that's great. And the citizenship and all of this stuff, like that is the fact that that's offered, it's a strength. Yeah, another thing that I love here in Accra is the social media marketing. Now, like I mentioned, not everybody is aware of social media marketing here because this is not America. Like in America, this is like, something that we are more exposed to, being that it is a melting pot of different people. But in Accra, like they are catching up to, the type of marketing that we do there in the West and using hashtags and just connecting with the public through social media is like more of a strength here than I've seen in other cities. Like I see way more hashtags and things like that being used in Google and just putting your business out there where in other countries and other cities that I visited, like you have to drive to this place to see it and to know that it's there. But I think that their reach through social media and how they even like advertise the products is very creative. And I think that'll definitely grow the economy. And it's definitely a strength because it was so hard for me to find certain companies in different cities that I visited. In Kampala, it was okay, but there were some places that weren't visible through social media. So yeah, hair is a very, very excellent social media marketing. There's very excellent social media marketing. So yeah, that is one thing that I love here. And the next one, what else? The variety of their sold goods, like whether that's street food, um, what I mentioned, like e-commerce, whether that is, the street vendors like clothes. Like they just have more variety as far as what they sell. Um, where in a lot of places in East Africa, all I seen was like chicken and chips and like certain goods that like chapati and things like this. But here, like in traffic, for instance, they will sell you eggs, chargers, car chargers. Um, they will offer to wipe your windows for you, clean your windows. They will offer um, like anything, sunglasses, bread, um, whatever it is you can think of, they bring it to you in the traffic. So if you forgot to eat at home, they have food. If you want cold water, they have it iced, which in a lot of other countries they just leave it warm, and I'm like, oh, I love cold water. So especially when it's hot in your country, like this is good, to offer people a variety. The country isn't as developed as the West, of course. So the fact that they make their goods visible and they offer you different type of items that you may need, this is top notch and it's going to help that economy grow. So I like to see that. I love it. The next thing that I love in Ghana that I think is a strength is their entertainment industry. Like when we're talking about events, like the concerts, like diaspora events, like their event strategy, the events they have are really creative. I've seen events take place in the jungle. I've seen some events go from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. in the morning. They have bars, they have beach parties, they have, like there's so much variety. The only thing I haven't seen is a bonfire. But there's starting to be more kids entertainment too. So I'm going to be taking my daughter to a water park soon for her birthday coming up. But we may even go this weekend. But yeah, overall, like Ghana's entertainment is something to look up to. It's something that should inspire other places as well. Other cities across entertainment system should be replicated throughout Africa, in your own style, because their entertainment is definitely like, it's definitely something that's going to keep you entertained. It is like an adult playground here in Ghana. So just keep that in mind if you're looking to have a little fun. But that is it for today, you guys. I have to go and pick up my daughter from school. So I hope you enjoyed this content. As you can see, I'm not outside today. It's just too many distractions when I'm outside, but I do plan to find like some hot spots where y'all can see like, more. But I hope you like this content. And if you want to see more content like this, make sure you hit that notification bell and subscribe. And talk to you soon. One love. Bye.